Oh, there's two of me. I'm back, baby. Oh, no, wait, where's the movie title? We're back. Let's go. All right, everybody, welcome back to the Sooner or Later podcast. I'm your host, Joey, looking for this. Here we go. And this week, for episode 114, we're talking Vengeance. Vengeance is directed, written, and starring BJ Novak, produced by Jason Blum, Greg Gilreath, and Adam Hendricks. Cinematography by Lynn Moncrief. Edited by Andy Canny, Hilda Razula, and Plummy Tucker, with music by Phineas O'Connell. Is that the Phineas? Oh, wow, it is. That's cool. Production companies are Blumhouse Productions and Divide Conquer. Distributed by Focus Features, with a release date of June 12th, 2022 at the Tribeca Film Festival, and a runtime of 107 minutes. I don't think I have anything on how much this movie costs. I saw no budget, but it has made $4.2 million in the box office. It currently holds an 80% on Rotten Tomatoes with 144 reviews, an 86% audience score with 250 reviews, and the last time I checked, I think it's a 66% on Metacritic. So not great on Metacritic at all. But the only thing that does matter is what the three of us think in this 10-minute spoiler-free review. Oh, shit. That starts now. I'm going to let someone else start it while I look up the Metacritic. Go ahead. Talk about it.
So the first time I seen this, I saw very little trailers, or I knew very little about it. I just knew, I was like, oh, the Office guy. He's writing it. He's starring it. I was like, all right,
that's
cool.
Who he is to me.
Yeah. And then I was like, so it was cool the first time I went to this, because it's like, I knew nothing. I was like, I don't know what this is about.
Did you
I don't
see
even know
this
what
in theaters?
I did, yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Look at you, man.
The experience watching it at home and watching in theaters, about the same.
Really? I thought it'd be a little bit different. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I mean, the music probably hits harder in theaters because like the music is great for this.
Yeah, I think I'm.
But
gonna,
now,
go ahead.
but now knowing Phineas did it, I'm like, oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, I think I have to go back and just listen to the soundtrack because I couldn't
was
really
like,
hear
this
it on my
does sound
TV.
a little new age, a little newer.
The whole movie is pretty fucking new age.
Yeah,
Like, this dated itself hard as fuck, though. Like, it's super.
it's set in today's time, 100%.
Yeah,
Like,
this is not going to be a timeless movie. It's not going to be like Seven or whatever, where it's like this could take place anytime. Like, nah, this is 2022 hard stuck.
COVID times.
Yeah, because there's a little COVID reference in there, and I was like, this is whack. I don't like this.
yeah.
Um,
If what is it, Burger or whatever it's called?
At the
Is ever-
Whataburger, yeah.
If that place is ever gone, there are people gonna be like, wait, what?
What the fuck's a Whataburger? It ain't nowhere,
no
bro.
Place, no way that place is gonna be gone. But yeah. It's right there, man.
I
Shit,
mean,
they need to expand though. I ain't never had it.
it's like only Texas.
Yeah.
Like true Whataburger is only in
Yeah.
Texas, but everything's bigger in Texas, so they don't have to expand. Fuck.
That's true. There's a lot
They're
of
always
Texas. And it's everywhere.
I don't know how to talk about this movie though without being super spoilery. So I think we shouldn't talk about any story beats whatsoever. Because I
Mhm.
think if you're gonna watch this movie, you got to go in blind.
Yeah. I mean, I went in blind as well. Like, I
So
don't
did
think
I.
there was any marketing for this at all.
Fuck no, this Peacock original? No, there was no marketing.
And like
No.
if I like, I don't even know. I don't even want to say like. There's a character is why I found out about it, but I don't want anyone saying through that character until we get to the spoilers because it's like an important character.
Yeah, and I didn't know he was in it until I looked at the cast. Don't look at the cast, but I was pleasantly surprised by his character. I think everybody
Yeah.
did a good job though. The family that's in this movie
Mm-hmm.
is a super realistic family.
Yeah,
And I like
I
it.
like the,
Yo,
the
Boyd-
dialogue's really
Boyd
good in this
Holbrook?
movie.
Who?
Dude from Logan.
Boyd?
Yeah, Boyd.
I mean, that's not what I'm
Holbrook?
talking about, but I do
No.
know who he is.
Yeah.
No,
we
I'm
know
saying
who you're
I
talking
love-
about.
I loved
Yeah.
Boyd. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, no, the cast of characters is great. The grandmother, like I love, like she actually used to be like on Friday Night Lights as like a grandmother. Her
She
character's
deserves
so
her own
good.
movie. She deserves her own
Yeah.
show or whatever he says.
And it's funny too, like so the first time I watched it, like some of the dialogue she has, it's like, oh wow, okay, and then you find out things throughout the movie, and then on the rewatch you're like, oh wow, like but we'll get into it. But like her
I mean,
her
I'll
dialogue,
have to rewatch it then because I don't.
Yeah.
Nothing really stuck out at me other than the one piece of dialogue that you're supposed
Yeah.
to catch.
her dialogue though is so important, like in the movie, like to pay attention to.
I kind of zoned out on her.
Is it?
I guess
I'm like,
he's the only one who's
she was
seen it
just saying-
twice. So,
Yeah, I guess.
but
Yeah, you know, it's
is
I didn't
that
catch it
even
the first time I
spoilers?
watched it.
Is that even spoilers?
Maybe.
Because I didn't know the ending. Like, there's not a. I wouldn't say there's a twist. It's not M. Night Shyamalan levels of twists. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It's
But,
just
like,
alien.
I definitely I had a sneaking suspicion at the like 2 minutes before it actually was announced what was happening.
Mhm.
And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, okay. But then even then, it's like, oh, okay. At the end of the movie,
Yeah.
you're definitely like, God damn.
Yeah,
I didn't expect this shit.
The ending caught me by surprise, and
Yeah.
I think anybody that watches it will feel that way. Like especially when you go in blind, and then the character growth you don't really expect. So then you're kind of just like,
Do you not
Oh.
really expect it?
to get to that point,
I think
I don't
so.
know.
I mean, we'll
I mean,
talk about
Texas
it.
changes a man, all right?
Texas do be changing a man, and he was full
Yeah.
Texas at the end of this movie. I mean, we'll talk about it more in non-spoiler or in spoilers or whatever, but it's I mean, there's some things that are said where it's like, I know where this is going. I know exactly what's going to happen here. Yeah, how the fuck do you talk about this movie? The writing is really
Yeah.
good. Go ahead.
BJ Novak is he's such an awkward guy. He looks like such an awkward guy too.
Yeah, I wonder if he's like that in real life. Because
And
I
all
don't
the
know.
time I'm like, I don't know if I like him or not.
I don't think you're supposed to like him.
No, not even like just in this movie, just in general.
Well, he only plays unlikable characters.
Yeah, he doesn't
I
have that
guess
many
it's-
roles really.
yeah.
What's his name in The Office?
Ryan Howard.
Yeah, Ryan is a douchebag.
Yeah,
You're supposed to hate that guy.
yeah, he's one of the worst characters. He doesn't even really redeem himself in the show.
He ends the series
Oh,
a piece of
he
shit.
was apparently in The Founder.
Dude, he was in Inglourious Bastards.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, he was.
He's the
When
guy
they make
that-
a
Go ahead.
when they make a reference to the movie, what is it? Liam Neeson movies. That part was like, I was like, whoa. Like the writing is like simple but clever. Even like when you're first introduced to the movies, one of the side characters, you're just like, whoa, he's in this movie.
Yeah.
You're like, what?
I think it's interesting though that nobody will put this man in a movie unless he writes it or produces it. He's never in anything that he doesn't produce, I don't think, or
Well,
like that he doesn't work on.
I'm pretty sure he wasn't even supposed to be on The Office, even in the beginning. Like I don't think he likes to act. It was one of
Well,
those things.
A lot of the producers star in the show because they
Yeah,
just didn't
like-
have anybody.
Correct. And then like so that's how he got there. So like I don't know if he like unless this just was his passion project, the only way to get it done if they were like, hey, you have to star. Like
Yeah, I mean maybe, but he's not a very big name.
no, but
Like-
like this
He's the
I don't know if
biggest
this movie is-
selling point, but like
yeah.
if we didn't have to watch this for the podcast, I'd have never watched this. This shit
Yeah,
was
I-
falling into
I think
obscurity
I'd have been the
instantly.
same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. See, I wanted to watch it though once I kind of figured out, and knew about it, but I still didn't know the premise. So like that was still cool when I watched it because I was like, this title and these cast of characters, I don't know what this movie's even kind of gonna be about. Like, and I don't know what the trailer is. So like maybe it tells you. I don't know. I've never seen the trailer.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know how you found out about this because I've literally never seen anything about this. I've maybe seen the poster, maybe, but other than that, this thing was they didn't want anybody to see this shit because they didn't.
It was
like
when,
Eric said, they didn't market it at all.
It was one of the markets to spotlight things, and I know they have like certain films with certain like studios and stuff. So I wonder if that's what the case is. Maybe it's just a partnership they had because I was seeing I seen the poster before, and then I seen that it was coming out, but I think I've only seen the trailer like once, like, and maybe I've seen it more, but like I don't remember the trailer whatsoever. But
Yeah,
maybe
I
the
think-
trailer doesn't want to give too much away, so maybe the trailer's real forgettable.
I don't think they had money
Who
for a
knows?
good trailer.
Yeah, I don't think they did. Yeah.
I mean, this movie made $4.2 million. I
Yeah.
hope it didn't
this
cost
is the
that
type
much.
of shit that like you watch a movie on Peacock, like you see a little preview, like also watch
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I feel like it didn't
Because
even go
even
to
with a
Peacock
name
that
like
quick, though.
Vengeance,
which
what?
I don't.
What'd you say, James?
Like it wasn't on Peacock fast. I feel like I watched this movie a while ago. I feel.
No, I thought it,
it came out July
wasn't it?
29th.
Okay, so I
So-
probably saw it
Yeah.
the first or second weekend.
Yeah, I mean that was probably as long as it was in theaters, though.
Yeah, and it had limited showing too. Like I think I saw this. It was like at like a 5:15 or something. It had like 3 that day. It was
3 is a
crazy.
lot.
Yeah, I'm
For
saying it
this,
wasn't one of
too?
those 7
For
o'clock
this?
ones though. Some of those only have 7 o'clock.
Yeah, this comes off like a 7 o'clock movie for sure.
But this had like limited release. Like those usually are those Fathom events that have like the 7 o'clock only.
Yeah, Clerks 3,
Hey,
and that's
come
it.
on! Don't talk shit
Yeah.
about those Fathom events, man.
No, I'm
I mean, I
talking
can
shit.
watch them. I've watched like 3 this year.
Nah, fuck Fathom events. They ain't shit. They ain't never gonna
Nah,
be shit.
yeah, they
I mean,
ain't
they're
shit. They're not gonna be
expensive usually
shit.
for what you get too. Like,
All right, we got 50 seconds left. We haven't talked about this movie much at all. This is gonna be the worst 10-minute review we've ever given.
I mean,
The dude,
should people?
BJ Novak's awkward.
He's supposed to be
Issa
awkward.
Rae.
Issa Rae.
Issa Rae.
No, Issa.
She's not utilized.
You fucking
I don't think
piece
she
of
is
shit.
supposed to be utilized. I guess.
No, she's utilized pretty well. It's not about her. She's a side character.
Yeah, it's not about her. Boyd Holbrook, he's a gem. They should have just plastered his face on the poster. People would have showed up.
It's not about him either.
do people even really know him though?
No, he's a fucking. Everybody in this movie's a side character. Everybody.
Yeah, you literally were like that guy from Logan is in this like a couple weeks ago.
Come
All right,
on.
we got 10 seconds left. We're giving a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Should people go see Vengeance? I'm giving it a thumbs up.
I give it a thumbs up, especially if you got Peacock. all
Yeah,
day.
because this is a good Peacock movie.
Just steal someone else's Peacock
All right,
info.
everybody. Thank you for spending your 10 minutes with us. If you'd like to spend another probably only 10 minutes with us, you can go ahead and click the button up in the top right-hand corner to find out what we think spoilery about Vengeance. We love you guys. Bye.
Bye.
Crazy that BJ Novak kills that motherfucker though. That shit crazy.
He don't call 911, dude.
You
He said,
never call 911.
So the first time stunned me too, because there's like the quick like shot where like I'm assuming I don't know if he misses or mishandles the gun.
He's never
No, he
shot a gun.
misses.
Yeah, he's never
Yeah,
shot
he
a gun
misses.
before.
He misses hard, and you see Ashton turn. Spoilers: Ashton Kutcher's in this movie.
Oh, yeah, we are spoilers. I just spent 10 fucking seconds talking about how we're spoiling this movie.
Yeah. Ashton turns to the left, and then he shoots him again in his neck. It's happening so quick. Like, it's like, whoa.
I mean, guns are fast.
Yeah,
dog.
guns are very fast.
But they even reference to, like, you know, when he's like, oh, you know, about Chekhov's gun and all this stuff.
That's what
like
I was
that.
talking about. He says Chekhov's gun or whatever and explains it. And I'm like, someone's getting fucking shot. That's fucking crazy.
But because it's Texas, I'd like the first, like, rewatching it, I got it. The first time I was like, yeah, sure. She's like, we don't got guns. But then she's like, we got a pantry gun. We got a farm gun.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, yeah, they got guns. It's Texas. Everyone has a gun.
Yeah, but you don't name drop Chekhov's gun and not.
But he's pretentious,
And
so
then
I'm not
Chekhov's
surprised.
gun. Yeah, but,
that
you
dude
know,
was like, he's spitting knowledge. I mean, oh my god, he was spitting knowledge. And and fucking BJ Novak's character was like, oh man, this guy is actually smart. What the fuck?
Oh, you're but you're talking about Ashton Kutcher's character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think we had moved on to his character yet. We were just talking about BJ Novak, but yeah, he was not ready for that dude not to be a hick.
No, I thought his character too was really refreshing because you expect him, like, dude, look at him, like he's like obviously like a sleazeball, but then he actually had some like enlightening words, and it's
But he's
just
still a sleazeball though.
Yeah. You find it comes back around.
He was giving
He's
me
too full of himself.
the minute he stopped talking, like the last time they left each other or whatever, and you thought that he's just out of the movie, they're never gonna come back to him. I was like, this motherfucker's up to something. I don't know what he's up to, but he's up to something. And then sure enough, he was up to something.
Yeah,
He's being sneaky.
He was being a little sussy baka.
yeah. So the grandmother, when they first sitting at the table, and he's like, "Oh, can I record us and stuff like this?" And that whole Alamo thing was funny to me because he's like, "And then they won." I'm like, bro.
I mean, he was fucking
Oh.
up Texas history all over the fucking place.
Yeah, that Six Flags thing. Is that true? I didn't know that.
I'm pretty sure it is true, yeah. I'm
That's
going to look it
wild.
up. I would imagine they would make it true.
Yeah,
I took it for fact.
I think
Yeah.
BJ Novak did his research on Texas, maybe.
I'm looking it up.
Yeah.
Don't worry. Oh, wait. I
but-
already got it. This is really fast. The origin of the Six Flags display. Yep. Spain, France, Mexico, Republic of Texas, Confederate States of America, United States of America. Yee. That's fucking awkward. Oh. Well, Six
Yeah.
Flags can never live that down, I guess. Fuck them.
Shit, they're everywhere now.
Racist bastards.
But the grandmother, when she's talking about like, oh, what happened or whatever to the granddaughter, she says with like, oh no, yeah, it's like it's true. Like she more or less had like a drug overdose. She's like talking about like pharmaceuticals and everything, but you think she's talking about like I guess like the cartel maybe or whoever killed them or whatever. 'Cause
Yeah.
when she first said
Oh,
what
I see
happened,
what you're
anytime
saying.
anybody
You think-
talks about it, it does come off like it's the cartel.
yeah.
You think it's like a blank statement about like the whole USA and having an opium problem, but she's talking legit just about her daughter. Or I guess
Granddaughter.
her
Your
granddaughter.
granddaughter, yeah. So when I rewatched it, I was like, oh, like, huh. But then it's like the first time you're watching, there's no way for you to really catch it because it's just like, and then early on, they're like, hey, these people are just crazy. Like they're just, you know, they're from Texas. They're gonna say some wild off the wall stuff. You think everything's like a conspiracy theory. But the grandma spin facts.
But it was kind of a conspiracy theory, though. I mean, because it wasn't true. The cartel didn't kill her.
No.
So ultimately, her brother was still just talking out of his ass.
But my thing is, why did all the characters keep on saying she wouldn't even swallow an Advil? Like she didn't go for Advil. She went straight to drugs. Is that?
I think she just hit it well. The only people that realized
Yeah.
probably were her family.
Yeah, and so he talks about it as much, right? When he gets beat up outside of the Whataburger, he's like, you just wanted to believe that she wasn't a drug addict. You were just telling yourselves these lies to hope that she didn't die from a drug overdose. You wanted so badly to blame it on someone else instead of just blaming it on her and blaming it on yourselves, right? So, like, it was just the lie that they were perpetuating to make
Like, I
it
knew
seem
they
like
were
she wasn't
lying,
that
but
bad.
I guess she was hiding it from everyone
Everybody
else.
else, yeah.
And
Okay.
I see too, like especially the cartel guy. It's like he kind of knows her now, I guess, more from afar. Like, because she's hiding so much stuff from him, but he thinks she's still the sweet little girl he knew in middle school.
Oh,
he doesn't
you're
realize.
talking about the Night Stalker?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, so, like, it's easy for him to be like, no, she never would. Like, this is a girl that would read me, Harry Potter. Like,
I loved her.
Yeah, and it's like, well, no, like, and he wasn't even in town, so like, there's no way he could have actually known.
Yeah.
But it's so easy. Like, even BJ Novak is just like, I believe it. Everyone's saying she's a sweetheart girl. Like, there's no way she would, and then he just accepts it for fact.
Which, I mean, like, but why wouldn't he though?
Exactly.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did a good job making it seem like she was just like an all-American good old girl that got fucking murdered.
Because when they say that, when the grandma spills the beans, I'm like, oh snap!
Dude, I was like, huh?
And then you look over and you see her sisters or whatever, just like, oh shit.
Grandma's crazy again.
But
Did you think?
Go ahead.
Did you guys think it was Ashton Kutcher? Like, once they kind of started unraveling, like, oh, who's she? Like, I guess because that whole of him talking, like, oh, I have it as his name or whatever, like all that stuff. Like, I'm like, it just comes out of nowhere. And it's like, there's no way I could have ever figured this out beforehand.
No, and that might be like a reason why this movie isn't great to me, is because there's no seeds of it being him. Like, you don't get any hint of it. It comes out of nowhere. You're just like, oh fuck! I guess Ashton Kutcher isn't a good guy this time around. He's out here saving fucking trafficking victims, but can't fucking not overdose them.
By the time it's already in it. Like, so it's not like it's not like in Act 2. Like, they're like, oh, this is going on. In Act 3, it all just develops.
But I guess you're also following the story through Ben's eyes.
Yeah,
so,
I guess true.
If
we only
Ben
know what he
wouldn't
knows.
have known, so we only got what he got. What was I gonna say? This movie had a weird tone to me though, because there was a ton of like super insightful thoughts that were being thrown around, and like what is Issa Rae's character's name? Eloise was like saying some super insightful shit. Anytime they talked about like the point of the podcast was super insightful, and then Ashton Kutcher's whole character was like super deep in thought and shit like that. And then it would just be like a comedy, like a screwball comedy, like making fun of them for liking University of Texas. It was super just all over the fucking place.
Yeah, there's like a couple of things they did where I'm like, I wonder what their thought process was going through this. Because like the car blow up scene, when it's just a throwaway, like, oh, it was because of Texas thing. I'm like, wow, that's so ridiculous.
Nobody would actually do that.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, because you're like, okay, but I'm like, I guess at least they addressed it. But there's no way I ever would have, like, because they're still, I guess, at that point, still trying to push the cartel narrative, maybe.
So that's what I was gonna say. That was the height of holy fuck. No, some cartel members definitely killed her.
Yeah, like he knows too much.
Yeah, and then literally the tension is sucked out as soon as the grandmother's like, no, she overdosed, brother. Like, she did that. She was addicted. And you're like, bro, what the fuck? His whole car just blew up in his face because of the cartel.
But like, I guess too,
I was done with the cartel after the Chelano was like, nah, it wasn't me. I was like, okay, it's not the cartel, it's someone else. Like, I didn't even think that was a cartel thing.
His name is Sancholo. Okay.
But like,
put some fucking respect on his name.
Dude, he's not even in the cast and crew, man.
Yes, he is.
Where the fuck is he?
He's in the cast. His name is Zach Villa. He's the Night Stalker, dog.
So who did you think it was? Or you just like, I don't know, maybe they're gonna tell me?
I don't know. I was like, all right, I guess they're gonna tell me.
Yeah. I mean, they do. But
this movie, go ahead.
I almost love how silly it was, though. Because I'm just like, that makes no sense. But like some of these characters make no sense. But then some of them make so much sense. So it's super weird. Like, I'm like,
I think that's bad storytelling, though. Because it's just a big mismatch, and it's like, oh, what the fuck are we doing here, guys? Am I supposed to?
Novak didn't know what to do. He didn't want it to one.
I mean, which could be the case. I mean, is this his directorial debut? It might be.
But he probably movies. I know he directed TV, but
yeah, but they're totally different beasts.
Yeah, this is a length movie.
Yeah,
but the thing too is like, I there's just certain parts where it's like, I feel like the heartfelt moments really hit though. Like when he does like the more dramatic stuff, like when he's like learning about her, and even that ending scene with Ashton Kutcher, like that's like a really good scene. Even when they mixed the music again, like, I don't know what song it was. Once they hit that song, I was like, wow, that was really like an emotional scene. And then like I like the fact where they're like, oh, but then the grandma goes like, you got family now, and then it gets saying like, okay, then you know, it does what the movie does.
And then then it just fucking explodes it. Yeah. And it's like, well, what the fuck? I started to feel something here, and now you guys just fucked it all up. Now his family is whooping his ass outside the Whataburger.
Then he just like back and it's like fine.
But I mean that I think is also like a family thing to do. You get into a fight, and then at the end of the day, your family is supposed to be there for you no matter what. Right?
I mean, he had nowhere else to go. That Uber was like 200
hours
away.
2 hours and 34 minutes away. But like, you know, even if he did have somewhere to go, like, I think that's more poignant, right? Is when you're out there and it is just literally you and your family. Like, of course they have other friends. They go to the parties. They do all that other shit. But like, it's you and your blood, and that's it. So even if y'all get into a fight, y'all got to kiss and make up. That's just it. You know, like, he couldn't just fucking walk, or he could have walked somewhere else, but they'd have probably fucking shot him.
Walk to Hotel 6.
I mean, I understand him being upset, though. It's like, well, you also were using them, so you can't, you know, don't stand on your high horse. But it's like, you're putting like your name on the line,
is he
and they're like telling you lies.
They wanted
he's still good no matter what.
They wanted
because he has a good job.
They wanted to use him just as bad as he wanted to use them. Like, it's mutually fucked if you want to look at it that way, because they could have been like, no, I don't want this to be a podcast. I want you to help me find your girlfriend's killer. That's it. Hard stop. But he went, I'm recording a podcast. And they went, oh, you are. I would love to talk into this recorder, please. Thank you. So like,
well, they want it to be stars.
Yeah, two of them at least. But like, you know, you're supposed to think that BJ Novak's character.
That's like,
go ahead.
But that's Boyd's character being like, oh, you're smart for thinking this. Like, I'm going to convince my whole family to do this with you because I trust you. Like, you're smart.
I mean,
you obviously know more than I do.
Maybe, but he's still using him. He's using him for his intelligence. He's using him for his reach. He's still using him. Both parties are opportunistic in this. It's just that you perceive the family as being more altruistic because they lost a family member, right? But like, ultimately, they knew what happened to her. All they wanted was for him to convince the world that this beautiful, talented woman died too early and that she was a saint. Knowing that she was a drug addict. Not that makes her a bad person, but they know that it would have been perceived as her being a bad person if it came out that she was a drug addict. So they were just using him. Just like he was using them. It's mutual.
Yeah, it's just more about, like, I guess, intentions. Like, because, like, I guess they had better intentions than his. His was more, like self-serving. There's more out of grief. And then also,
there's self-serving, too, though. They don't want anybody to look down on their family. So they want to make
but it's different when you do things when you're grieving. It's a difference when you're doing it just to do it. Like, I
guess that doesn't necessarily make it right, though.
No, but it's more understanding when someone is grieving and does it.
I don't think so.
I feel like BJ Novak's character is a little more wrong than the family's character.
Yeah, but like an F at 49% is still an F compared to a 1%. You still failed. You fucking failed that vibe check no matter what. Sure, the family failed it with a fucking 40, and BJ Novak failed it with a fucking 20, but y'all both fucking failed this shit.
I mean, that's sure, if the test is one test, but now if it's a grade over a semester, that 49 is going to carry a lot more weight than that 1%.
No, it won't, because you still failed. You're still failing.
No, that's the difference between a D minus and an F plus.
Nope, you are not getting no D minus with a 49%. Nowhere.
When you get that 70, 80 next time, and then you had that 1%, you can't bounce back.
But then when you look at it like that, he was passing tests too. He developed a caring relationship for these people. So like.
Yeah, so his character development,
right. But like,
he eventually started to care for them.
Y'all are crucifying him like he was a terrible person, but he ended up.
We're talking about his original intent they had.
Yeah,
and then
but you just brought up the whole semester, so now we're talking about the whole semester. They were both pieces
now
of
on the
shit.
whole semester.
They both failed, and I think that they're both pretty equal because you know what? That dude didn't have to beat his ass.
I don't think he fails though. He passed if anything because he. Still, at the end, he chose as one. He gets the job done. He finds out who's really was, I guess, at fault for her being on drugs.
Yeah, so the
And
family
then he
fails, is what
and
you're
then he
telling me.
deletes everything.
Yeah, so the
so then
family
he's
fails.
a good guy.
And the
All right,
family,
well, now he's a good guy.
Yeah, it switched. You
Yeah,
know, I went
okay,
to
let's
bat.
say.
I went to bat for Ben from the beginning, so I'm okay with this W that y'all just handed me. But like, the family's pretty shitty. Nobody apologized to him. Like, maybe it happened behind closed doors, but I need to see that.
I think the
But-
mom apologized.
Hell no, she didn't apologize. She said, "You're gonna need a ride."
Shit, she got to give him a ride. But also, too, like, the family also really thought they were in a relationship. So I understand them wanting to be, like, the last part of her, like, I guess, life that's still there, maybe.
I don't
Because they
understand what
didn't-
you just said.
Like, because if they thought they were in an actual relationship. So they're like, oh, I would like to spend time with their boyfriend because obviously she thought so
Oh,
highly
okay,
of
okay,
you.
okay.
So we want to,
Yeah,
see that part. So like I think that's understanding. But also I don't know if he doesn't bring up the podcast thing, it's not like they're gonna bring it up.
no, but like, just because you don't have the initial thought doesn't mean that you're not being opportunistic.
Because their original intent is to like bring her boyfriend in to
Yeah,
so
yeah,
they
yeah.
can grieve together. I don't know what his original intent is.
I mean,
His
saw-
original intent was like he's gonna find a story or some shit.
Yeah, that's all. I mean, this movie, it like parodies podcasts, but this is something ripped straight out of Serial. It is like
Mhm.
it's S-Town 100 fucking percent. Like, it's got the twists and turns, it's got like the interviews with the cops, it's got everything. This is like, he had to have listened to hundreds of hours of podcasts to be like, I'm gonna write the
Yeah.
perfect podcast script.
Because as they're like saying the story and how it's like developing, you're like, oh yeah, that's interesting. Like I would totally listen to those episodes to see how it goes.
I mean, I've listened to whole podcasts that are laid out exactly like this. It's
Yeah.
almost like, damn, are y'all motherfuckers working behind the scenes?
yeah.
Overdosing
Like
people?
you're saying it's like it's like a planned narrative that seems real.
No. I'm saying that he listened to hundreds of hours of podcasts and then wrote a script.
No, like all those podcasts are that like the serial one or whatever you said.
Serial is just like this movie, where it's like, I'm investigating a murder in a small
it fake
town.
or real?
No, it's real. This is real
Okay,
in the movie.
okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like,
yeah.
that's why he wrote it to seem like these things. That's why he's like, oh, I'm gonna be a fucking big podcaster. And this movie plays out, other than the fucking host murdering somebody, this movie plays out exactly like those stories. Like,
Hey, you don't know that, dude. They could have deleted that shit. They could have boop.
well, then
Yeah,
I
they-
definitely couldn't have listened to it because they fucking threw that shit in the bin. They Kobe'd that bitch and threw it in the bin.
But because he's actively trying to solve the murder. Because when his car blows up, they're like, "Hey, we're going home." He's like, "I haven't figured out the ending yet." But that is so true, though. Like, I've seen so many like docu-series and stuff where like
Yeah,
it's
it's all the same
unsolved and
shit.
stuff.
Yeah.
And then people are like, "But what happened? I need more." And it's like, yeah, people crave that shit. She's
That's
right.
the Monte
Like, they-
Teo shit. That's exactly
Yeah.
the same shit. It plays
Oh,
out
shit.
exactly like this. There's new people here and there, and new developments, and shit is happening. It's laid out like beat for beat, exactly like all those
Yeah.
things, which is cool. Like, I think he did a good job parodying those, like those storytelling elements, right? And it like, other than the weird like comedy bits that happen that kind of like suck the air out of the room, like I think he did a great job, recreating
I think if
that.
you went more dark, like
Because this is supposed to be a dark
You do
comedy.
need the
Like, I think
humor,
that's
though,
what they
right?
have in
Yeah.
it.
You don't need the humor because most of the time those podcasts don't have humor like that. It's like serious all the way through. There are heartwarming moments like where, you're listening to an interview and they're like the Ashton, or what the fuck's his name? Quentin Sellers. When he's talking to Quentin and he's like giving like inspirational quotes and stuff like that and like talking about like the meaning of life and stuff. The shit like that happens in those podcasts all the time. But then nobody is ever like, shit talking him because he's a Texas fan. There are heartwarming moments, but ultimately those things are pretty dark, and you do end on a cliffhanger almost. Like when
Yeah.
Issa Rae is talking to him about how the ending is and how it's like perfect because it's not hard ending, right? How it's vague and how people can really lay their own feelings onto the ending. That is real. Like people
Yeah.
end podcasts like that all the time, and you have no resolution whatsoever. So like, it could have just been dark, and it could have been somber,
Yeah.
and it would have been a different movie, though.
That's why I love what Ashton Kutcher was saying in the end after he's like, BJ Novak's like, "Hey, I got you." And he's just like, "Sure." But like, because that stuff happens when you see all those times about, you hear about the stories like, oh, someone killed their wife or something like that. Then you have the people being like, oh, well, what happened? Like, did he really kill her? Because I'm like, when he was explaining, I was like, I've seen that happen in stories where people are like, did he kill her for leaving her there? And it's just like, that's such a crazy angle to take, but it's just like, it's so true to life that like the situation he was talking about happens. So like a lot of the dialogue in this, it's just like, oh yeah, like you guys, like, he probably did listen to a ton of podcasts because it's just like literally like, yeah, I've heard many stories and seen docuseries where that exact thing plays out just like that, and people eat it up. And one side, it doesn't matter how wrong they are, they're just like, oh no, I see it this way.
I mean, and it doesn't help that like people are obsessed with fucking serial killers and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
So like he's definitely right there too, where people are gonna be like, no, he was right. Fuck it, whatever. If she was gonna die from a drug overdose, whatever. He should have. It's a good thing he didn't make it anybody else's problem or some stupid shit like that. Yeah. What the fuck was I gonna say? I can't remember. What's up with that face, Eric?
I don't know. It's like what else can we say about this shit? Like
I don't
we
know.
Said all the main parts. It seems like we all like the movie. We all agree that like maybe he should have just did one thing. Although I did like the humor. Like I love the family. Like the family did it for me. Ashton Kutcher's character, I thought he was cool at first, but then I was like, okay, this guy's like full of himself. Like he's like super deep for no reason.
I don't even know if he was really full of himself though. I would argue that those are just his genuine thoughts, and like just because he's super introspective and super says thought-provoking things, that doesn't necessarily mean that he's full of himself. But he could be extremely confident, right? He could be.
I mean, yeah. By the end of it, though, he was full of himself. He was like, "Okay, you want me to do that again?
I mean,
want me to retake?"
But he was right. Like he's not wrong. People would.
But he was untouchable. If the average person would not shoot him. Like that was a
right, but the average person ain't going to Texas and fucking interviewing people for the job.
But like he had money and he had resources and he's a tall, white, good-looking man. Like he could do anything.
I mean, yeah, he was dealing some drugs. Each one of those things had like hundreds of fucking things
So
of ecstasy
many.
or whatever.
And they were super efficient. They had them cut in squares. You don't waste any space.
Yeah, you fit them real tight in the box. But like,
real quick though,
go ahead.
I was like. The fact I was like, oh, all right. I feel like they shouldn't have had it laid out like when you walk in the room, like
it's
the
an
box.
opium den. Like, he just talked up opium dens. Why wouldn't he have it as opium den full of opium?
Yeah,
I feel
he
like
had so many boxes.
Some
Dude,
bitch
like,
just die in there.
She wasn't dead yet, but she was definitely overdosing.
Sure.
I guarantee.
I love that though. The radio thing in the end.
My headphones
when they're
died.
like, oh yeah,
God.
there's at the after party, there's an overdose or whatever, and then such a call, and he's like, I really thought it was gonna be an accident how he dies or whatever.
No. He says, because I just watched it. They go, the first line is, "Oh, someone's calling 911 on a Saturday. Son of a bitch, this sucks." And then they call 911 again about him. They get the call in, and he goes, "Huh? Didn't think he was very accident prone." Because everything is an accident. I just heard it.
Yeah.
So everything is an accident.
That's even better.
Yeah. That line was so fucking good. I was like, holy shit, these corrupt ass police officers, these cocksuckers. Because it's still in the 5 jurisdictions or whatever. So that motherfucker's an accident no matter what. But like that line without saying, like it speaks perfectly to their shitty ass character. To have them be like, I didn't think he was that accident prone.
Talking about the cops.
Yeah.
I love the way they had the cop situation, the border patrol, and everything like that, where it's just chaotic, and it's just like nobody wants to take responsibility to try to solve this. So it's just like it's an accident.
I mean, that's how it is IRL too. So like,
yeah. I mean, in the things that he's parodying, they do that all the time. It's like none of y'all solved this murder, and all of y'all were in it, and they're like, yeah, well, it's not my job.
I mean, because it's even funny, like, they don't even try. Because, like, when he's like, hey, what are those prints? Like, okay, I understand a lot of people wear cowboy boots, but you can't look for specific boots. They have a star on them.
Yeah.
He's like, and then the cop on the radio, the first one, he's like, what the fuck? Or something? Like,
yeah, so he calls in and find somebody wearing cowboy boots, and it was a man or whatever. What the fuck is what he says over the call? That was another one that cracked me up. I was like,
Yeah.
God damn, they're tearing the little boy.
I think too, though, with the side characters, like they also like, and you're not supposed to dislike them, but the family's almost too likable. So the comedy, I think, is even funnier than it probably would be if I guess they were less likable. But like anytime they do stuff like the little brother, like I thought
love
his
the
character
little-
was hilarious.
I don't.
Like,
I didn't laugh
Dude,
too
him
much at
coming
him
in
though.
with the gun, dude.
Oh,
I was
him pointing it at
it's
him.
like-
I
Yeah.
think the situations he created were funny, but like that is such a sad character. Like that little
Oh,
boy
yeah.
is so sad. His nickname is fucking idiot, and then
Yeah.
they just like ignore him essentially. Like even to the bitter end when he says like the brother's what is the brother's name?
you know what I am, right?
Mason. He goes,
Yeah.
Mason brought me. Who the fuck is Mason? It's your fucking little brother, dude. Like, that is
Yeah.
so sad. And I think that lends credence to the fact that, like, maybe these people really didn't give a fuck about their sister. Maybe they really didn't fucking care about her. They just were worried about themselves. Because,
But I could also see them believing, like, oh yeah, we know she did drugs, but they don't pay attention enough to each other to realize how deep she was into it. Maybe.
yeah. I mean, yeah,
Um,
they were fronting, essentially, to just seem like a good family.
The scenes I like though
to
were
who?
Everybody in town, bro. Small towns like that.
I guess if it's a small town, yeah.
and she got out.
The gossip
Like
travels.
she's supposed to be a star. Like
Right.
there's no way they could. You know they don't want her to seem like anything less than what she is. But with the little brother, when there's the two scenes where he calls BJ Novak stupid, more or less, when he's like, "They should be calling you El Stupido."
Yeah.
Like, that's the stuff that was cracking me up. Because any moment someone would do something stupid, he'd be like, "And y'all calling me the stupid one?"
Yeah.
like, you know. But it was real touching when you see her talk about her little brother, and then she's like, "Oh yeah, he sleeps on the floor or whatever." And then you
Yeah.
realize that's why he's sleeping on the floor. Like there are just so many little nuggets throughout this film, like that really tug at the heartstrings.
Yeah, and I think it could have had more than that, more of that, you know?
And then you have scenes with like John Mayer, like 100%,
That's so weird.
100%.
I was not ready for the movie to start like that.
Me either.
There's no
Oh, yeah,
way I
man.
could have prepared for that.
question mark. She's intrigued or something.
Yeah, only two
Yeah.
Y's. You don't want to be thirsty with that third Y.
Yeah,
But I mean, like that was a cool way to open it because it's like setting the stage for this character, like Ben's
Mhm.
character, right? And like learning that like he's really just out to get the bag.
because it was quick, and you knew right away what type of character he was. They didn't spend too much time developing who he was as a person.
Yeah,
Because like we got it right away. That opening scene gets everything you need.
Yeah.
Even with the chick when she walks in and he's just like, "Oh yeah, like the book or something," and she's like, "Huh?" And it's like, wow, he doesn't even know who this person is either.
yeah.
Hey, big cocksucker energy.
Oh,
Yeah.
come on. Look, he's in the hustle and bustle of New York City, dude. You can't blame him.
Yeah, you're right, man. You got slang and bang.
Yeah,
Dude, but he got that check mark though, dude.
he does. He's verified. I don't,
He has
man,
credibility.
he should have just been riding that fucking check mark to the bank, dude.
Mhm.
He
And that's
bitch.
also, I wonder, like, he didn't need the money from this. Like, he just like, I
No.
could delete this.
He says as much. He's like, "No, I'm
Yeah.
fine. I don't need this shit.
Yeah,
I
he
want
just
to do
his
it.
stardom.
I just want to be a star."
Yeah.
He was giving off some real Pearl energy, is what it was. He's out here
I got
fucking.
that X Factor.
Yeah, he's fucking scarecrows.
Yeah.
All right, let's do some questions. All right, come on, Google Drive. Let's go. I don't feel right if I'm not reading it from the paper. All right, James, what was your favorite part of Vengeance?
The ending. I love the way, like, just their dialogue and everything Ashton Kutcher was saying, and then just him taking it in, like you seen like his face and everything. And like, I like when people like don't say anything, but you can like feel their emotions. So it was good, like face acting by BJ Novak, and then the music just like intertwined really well for me.
Eric?
I think the family. It had to be the humor.
That's it?
And then Boyd Holbrook.
Old Logan, dude.
Yeah.
I honestly think the part inside of the recording studio is probably my favorite. I was like, this is really
That's
good.
also a good one.
The
Yeah.
writing is really good. Like the way that you can see like Ashton Kutcher's character's charisma and like the way that he's like a devil right, with his tongue, and like he can essentially talk people into whatever he needs them to do. Like, and he can, make music just from telling somebody something, and it can break them out of this spell of disillusionment. I thought that was really good. And then it also sets you up for the twist at the end where it's like, he's a piece of shit. Fuck. No.
And I think him and maybe someone else could have done it just as well, if not better. But that character in this movie, I think, makes a difference between this movie being like a bad movie and a good movie.
I don't know that anybody could have done it better. I think Ashton Kutcher has built up his persona as a human being as like such a good person. Like he does so many things where his intentions are so pure and good. And I made a reference to it earlier, but like the trafficking thing that he does and like the organization that he set up around that, like he's really doing super amazing altruistic shit in real life. So when you see him in this movie be the villain, it's like a shock to your system. It's like fucking if Tom Hanks was the villain in this movie.
I was gonna say,
be like,
Tom Hanks, man.
But I'm also like an Ashton Kutcher fan. Like I get he's in a lot of bad movies and everything he does is great. But like when he is on, he's on. Like, and I thought he killed it in this movie.
Yeah, but I don't think you have to be a fan of his to think that he did really well.
No.
I think even if you're not a fan, you'd be like, wow, this is really good acting. Like,
I mean, it might be better to not be a fan because you're like thinking he's gonna be shit.
I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of him, and I was like, oh, this is pretty good. He did a really good job.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
Yeah, I could take him or leave him. But I think in this, it would have suffered if he wasn't it.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, some of the best parts in this movie are when he's on screen.
I think he is the best part of the movie. Like that scene really stole the show because it shifted the way that the whole story was being told after that. Because it made Ben change the way that he was telling the story.
Yeah, and I think too.
Yeah, Ben realized that these people aren't dumb.
Yeah.
But we've also like watched a lot of movies. Just this year in general, but like always. But it's like I've seen a lot of really good movies and have like okay endings, and then there's movies that are like okay, but then have like amazing endings. Like, and I just think like I just this is one of the best endings I've seen like in a while. Like the rest of the movie may not hold up as strong as the ending.
That's a heavy statement.
Yeah, but like I've seen a lot of movies where I'm like, oh, it was great. In the end, I'm just like, okay, but it's just great regardless because some movies just 2/3 of the way kill it, and then if you kind of bobble your landing, it's okay.
Yeah, I can think of a movie I watched this week that, that's how I feel about it.
I feel you.
Just say it. Don't be a coward. We're in spoilers, so it doesn't
Hello,
matter.
Darling sucked.
Good, I'm glad I didn't go see it. I also saw something say that it sucked,
good job,
so
man.
I'm not going to see it. Fuck you, losers.
I don't think it's the 30% it's on Rotten Tomatoes, but it's just like that movie has so much potential, and it's
I didn't know it was that
underwhelming.
low.
I mean, all you have to do is rate it not favorably. It's Metacritic.
And I'm gonna say right now, Florence Pugh, she just plays the same gaslit victim.
Yeah, she doesn't do anything special.
And on from that, James, what's your least favorite part of Vengeance?
I don't know. I guess maybe some scenes were slower than the rodeo stuff. Like I guess doesn't really add too much. It's just like okay. The main part of this was the Texas thing they bring up, but
how else are we gonna blow up the car?
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like,
that's the only reason for it. That's like we want his car to explode. Now we have to go back in the script and say why we did it. Yeah,
like that's the only thing that felt out of place in this movie where I could have done without that.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with James too. That scene, can't really think of anything else that was out of place.
I also think that movie is out of place because the comedy is really fucking weird. It's just, this is weird.
Yeah.
I even was like, this dance scene is kind of weird, but at least we got to talk to Sancholo or whatever the fuck his name is. So like that was worth it. But like, yeah, it was just like, this is really fucking weird. What are we doing here?
Because they're like, oh,
why are we at this rodeo?
At the rodeo, but like he's not even at the rodeo. He's at the after party.
Yeah. It's so stupid. But like, they needed to pad the runtime because it was only an hour and 45 minutes. So they had to pad the runtime. They needed
to lessen the runtime.
I think this movie being a tight hour and 30 would have been really nice. Trim a little bit of fat here and there. Maybe, get rid of the family altogether. It'd have been nice. It'd have been great.
Now that's a statement.
Cinema
rid of the granny.
scores. Get rid of the granny. She doesn't deserve shit. She deserves a hole in the ground. Would we rent it?
No.
Nah.
I would absolutely not rent this movie. Would you buy this movie physically?
Nope.
No.
No.
Would you buy it digitally? No.
Nah.
No.
Would you buy this from the $5 bin at Best Buy, Walmart, FYE, Voodoo, or anywhere else? No.
Nah.
No.
Would you put this on in the background while people are over?
I
No.
would.
Absolutely not.
Nah.
A murder mystery you're gonna put in the background? What kind of sense does that shit make?
Dude, it
You weren't even
doesn't
paying
matter.
attention, dude.
You
You
say
gotta watch the third act. You understand, like the third act. You're not ready for it anyways. You know, I'll just
They
explain
were-
to you what
they-
happened.
I watched
They
the whole movie
mansplained
and
the
wasn't
whole
ready
thing.
for it, but that doesn't matter.
Exactly. So if you're not, even if you're paying attention, you won't get the ending. You won't like understand.
But I
You're
mean,
just
I
like,
do
oh
agree
wow.
with Joey. There is something about Quentin's character. You're like, what's going on here?
It's just fishy. I mean, but like
Yeah.
we're also led to believe that like studio heads are fishy because they're fucking
Yeah.
snakes in the grass.
Yeah. All
So it's
record
good casting him as
Producers are
that.
pieces of shits.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Would we recommend it? Yeah. If you have Peacock.
Yeah.
Only if you
I
have
would.
Peacock, actually. If you have to rent this movie, what are you doing? Have
Steal
you-
Yeah, 'cause
someone's peacock.
Come on.
There's no reason
Yeah.
not to watch this movie. I feel it's not like it's like
If
shit.
if you have Peacock though,
Yeah.
I think the barrier to entry of having to rent it on its own
Mhm.
is enough to block someone. I think that should block you. But
if you like podcasts, watch the shit.
Yeah, that's a good reason actually.
Yeah, that is true.
It's kind of cool that we've gotten 2 podcast movies in like the last 3 months or whatever. That's pretty awesome.
Is Blue
Podcast
Bayou
movie.
also a podcast movie, James?
No.
I haven't seen that. I hope it is. Are you sure, or did you just not catch the podcast tips?
No, it's about like not that.
Thank you for not going too far into it.
Yeah, thank you.
I was like, we're on the last question. He better not give me a full review of
Yeah.
Blue Bayou right now. Our ratings. Who's got a good one?
oh, I had a good one, but I forgot it. Fuck. Go ahead, James.
It's probably a lie.
I don't have a good one.
I'll give this movie
Fuck, what was it?
7.5.
Oof. That
7.5 bullets in the chamber.
Revolvers only go up to 6, though.
He didn't have a revolver.
He didn't. He had
the
a feeling.
cat. Yeah.
Yeah.
You gave it a 7.5, huh? 7.5. I
Are
don't
you
know.
gonna give it, Joey?
I mean, I was gonna give it a 7, but I'm looking at our tier list. I don't know if this movie's a 7. I'm gonna be real with
I
you.
was thinking 7 as well.
I mean, but we got some bangers in the 7. We got Snowpiercer, Annihilation, Tenet, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, Fault in Our Stars, Birdman.
Half those got
Coco.
shitty endings.
You're insane, but okay.
Shut up.
I'm not even gonna bother talking to
I
you
took
at
the
this
bait.
moment. Yeah. I think this is a 6.5. Fucking cubes fit perfectly into a box out of 10.
They did fit.
I'm gonna give it 7 corrupted files on my audio recorder out of 10.
Oh man, I should have given it fucking 6.5. Hey man, you only got 11%. You should probably turn on battery saver out of 10.
That was pretty funny.
That shit killed me when he said that shit to him.
Hey, what I thought was cool,
funny.
the way he had the cassettes, like it looked like it was cassette, and then it opened up and it was like a USB holder.
Dude, oh man, he did that shit and I was like, fuck, this
Yeah.
is so cool. I want to do that with everything.
At first I was like, dude, what is he gonna do with a cassette?
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah, I thought so too. Like it was so crazy. And it looked so cool because they looked like cassettes, like
Yeah.
and they were like old and like dingy kind of looking. He pulled it open and there was a little case with the USB in it. I was like, wow.
Yeah, that little like slot that you could just take it out of. That was really good. I didn't update any of our shit. Are we doing another streaming next week? What are we doing?
We're not watching Blue Bayou.
yeah, back-to-back directorial debuts.
Oh, we can. I just didn't know if something was coming out that y'all would rather go see IRL.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it regardless.
Right.
Right.
Watch it regardless.
Yeah.
But we're talking about like things we're going to talk about, not what we're watching regardless.
Yeah, but I mean, this is back to back. Written,
let's
starred,
just do
directed. It's
Blue
kind of
Bayou.
cool.
Yeah, but is it any good?
I like it.
Dude, it's gonna be good, all right.
It's going to be good.
I
Okay.
believe. After Don't Worry,
In Harley
Darling,
Dent?
dude, I'm pissed.
Yeah, you're an idiot for watching that
I'm
movie.
I'm so glad I watched this Vengeance after that movie.
Oh,
So
this one.
if I did it the other way around, I would have ended on a shitty note. I would have gone to sleep mad.
Yeah, you would have fucking given this movie a 6. Just been like, nah, everything sucked that day. It was all bad. All right, everybody. Well, tune in next week for our review of Blue Bayou. Thanks for tuning in this week for our review of Vengeance, though. Continue listening and watching and showing your support on all social medias at Sooner or Later TV. If you couldn't catch us live on Twitch
wait a
or
minute.
YouTube, then don't worry. You can always listen to us after the fact on all podcasting platforms. Just look up Sooner or Later TV. I got a report coming in. Boop, 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 from Eric.
Rose is coming out next week.
Oh, we're going to see Bros. I can't wait to review that movie. I think it's going to be great. Let's review that.
We can do
could do
Bang
it
Bang.
back to back. Yeah, we could just do a back to back review. We're going to have to start late next week anyways, so I'm
That's
okay with
true.
that.
Works.
All right, so next week we're going to review Blue Bayou live and Bros live. We love you guys. Bye.